The rain pounded against the stained-glass windows of St. Mary's Cathedral in downtown Chicago, as if the heavens themselves were mourning the loss of Mark Harrington. Kai stood at the front pew, his black suit clinging to his frame like a second skin, soaked from the downpour outside. Whispers sliced through the air like knives. "Gold digger," someone hissed from the back, loud enough for the entire congregation to hear, igniting a ripple of judgmental nods from Mark's affluent family. Kai's hands trembled as he clutched the program, his mind flashing back to the day he met Mark 5 years ago. It was at a charity gala in New York City, where Kai, a struggling artist from a small Midwest town, had been serving drinks to make ends meet. Mark, the CEO of Harrington Tech, a multimillion-dollar software empire, had approached him with a genuine smile that cut through the room's pretentious chatter. "You're not just a waiter," Mark had said, eyeing Kai's sketchbook peeking from his bag. "You're an artist trapped in the wrong life." That night sparked a connection Kai never expected, one that would upend his world and thrust him into a storm of societal scrutiny. As the eulogies began, Mark's sister, Elena, took the podium first. Her voice was sharp, laced with barely concealed venom. "My brother was a brilliant man, generous to a fault," she said, her eyes flicking toward Kai. "He built an empire from nothing, only to have it threatened by those who saw him as a meal ticket." The audience shifted uncomfortably, but no one dared interrupt. Kai felt his stomach twist. He knew this was coming. Elena had never approved of their relationship, viewing Kai as an opportunistic intruder into their old money world. "Mark deserved better," she continued. "Someone who loved him for who he was, not what he had." The weight of her words pressed on Kai like a physical force. He remembered the early days, when their love felt pure and untainted. Mark had been 45, divorced from a loveless marriage that produced no children, and Kai was 28, fresh out of a string of failed relationships that left him questioning his worth. They bonded over shared dreams, Mark's passion for philanthropy and Kai's desire to create art that mattered. But whispers followed them everywhere. "He's too young. It's just about the money. Gay marriage is legal, but that doesn't make it right in God's eyes." Kai had ignored it all, focusing on the quiet moments, like walks in Central Park where Mark would hold his hand without shame. Yet the pressures mounted. Mark's family, rooted in conservative values from their Texas origins, despite relocating to Chicago for business, saw Kai as a threat to their legacy. "You're corrupting him," Elena had once spat during a family dinner, her husband nodding in agreement. Mark defended Kai fiercely, but each confrontation chipped away at their happiness. Kai began doubting himself. Was he truly in love, or had the allure of stability clouded his judgment? He pushed the thought away, recalling how Mark supported his art career, funding a small gallery show that launched Kai into minor fame. But even that success bred resentment. Critics called his work derivative, implying it was bought influence rather than talent. The priest's voice droned on about eternal life, but Kai's thoughts spiraled into darker territories. He replayed the night Mark proposed, on a rooftop overlooking the city skyline. "I know what people say," Mark had whispered, slipping the ring on Kai's finger. "But I see you, the real you. Marry me, and let's prove them wrong." Their wedding was intimate, just close friends, but the media caught wind, turning it into a spectacle. Tabloids branded Kai a trophy husband, fueling online hate that seeped into real life. Friends distanced themselves, fearing association with the scandal. As the service progressed, Mark's best friend, Tom, spoke next. Tom was one of the few who supported them, a fellow executive who had come out later in life. "Mark found joy in Kai," Tom said, his voice steady. "In a world that tried to box him in, Kai set him free." A few murmurs of agreement rose, but Elena's glare silenced them. Kai met her eyes, seeing the raw hatred there. She blamed him for Mark's estrangement from the family, for the will he might have changed in Kai's favor. Little did she know the battles they fought behind closed doors. Nights when Mark's health declined, first the fatigue, then the diagnosis, stage 4 pancreatic cancer. Kai had been by his side through every chemo session, holding his hand as the once vibrant man withered. "I don't regret us," Mark had said in his final days, his voice weak. But promise me you'll fight for what's yours. Kai nodded, tears streaming. But inside, guilt gnawed at him. Had he pushed Mark too far from his roots? The family accused Kai of isolating him, claiming he manipulated Mark into cutting them off. It wasn't true. Mark made those choices himself, tired of their bigotry. The organ music swelled as the casket was carried out, and Kai followed, numb. Outside, under the gray sky, reporters swarmed. "Mr. Thompson Harrington, any comment on the rumors?" one shouted. Kai ignored them, climbing into the limo with Tom. "They're vultures," Tom muttered. "But the will reading tomorrow, that's when the real fight begins." Kai leaned back, exhaustion washing over him. He knew the family expected everything to go to them, dismissing Kai as a temporary fling. But Mark had secrets, choices that would shatter illusions. As the car pulled away, Kai's phone buzzed. A text from an unknown number. "You don't deserve a penny. Leave now." His heart raced. The threats had started months ago. Anonymous calls accusing him of hastening Mark's death for inheritance. Paranoia set in. Was it Elena? Or someone closer? Kai stared out the window, the city blurring by. He had sacrificed his independence for this love, facing rejection from his own conservative parents back in Ohio, who disowned him after the wedding. "You're going to hell," his father had said. Now, alone in grief, Kai wondered if it was all worth it. That night, in their empty penthouse, Kai pored over old photos, each one a reminder of the joy amid the pain. Mark laughing at a pride parade, their first vacation in Hawaii where they escaped the judgment. But the memories twisted with doubt. Had he been naive? Society's lens painted him as the villain, the young gay man preying on the wealthy widower. Kai slammed the album shut, resolve hardening. Tomorrow, at the lawyer's office, truths would emerge. He wouldn't back down, no matter the cost. The lawyer's office in the heart of Chicago's Loop District felt like a pressure cooker the next morning. Kai arrived early, his suit pressed but his eyes bloodshot from a sleepless night. Elena and her husband, Richard, were already there, flanked by Mark's nephew, Kyle, a smug 20-something who eyed Kai like a pest. The air was thick with unspoken accusations, the kind that had simmered for years. Mr. Hargrove, the family attorney, cleared his throat as everyone settled around the mahogany table. "Mark's will is straightforward, but let's proceed." He adjusted his glasses and began reading. Kai's pulse quickened. He had no idea what to expect. Mark had kept the details secret, saying only, "It'll take care of you." Elena leaned forward, her manicured nails tapping impatiently. "As per Mark's wishes," Hargrove intoned, "the bulk of the estate, including Harrington Tech shares valued at over $50 million, goes to his spouse, Kinder Thompson Harrington." Gasps echoed. Elena shot up. "That's impossible. He must have been coerced." Richard nodded vigorously. Mark wasn't in his right mind those last months. This boy manipulated him. Kai sat frozen, the words sinking in. 50 million? He had never cared about the money. It was always about Mark. Flashbacks flooded Kai's mind as the room erupted. He remembered the first major fight with Mark's family, 2 years into their relationship. It was Thanksgiving at the Harrington estate in the suburbs. Elena had cornered Kai in the kitchen. "You're not family," she sneered. "You're a phase. Mark will wake up and see you're after his fortune." Kai had defended himself, voice shaking. "I love him, that's all." But later that night, alone with Mark, doubts crept in. What if they're right?
Cave he spatted.
Mark pulled him close. "They're wrong. We've built something real." The lawyer continued over the chaos. "Additionally, the penthouse, art collection, and philanthropic foundation are bequeathed to Kai." Kyle slammed his fist. "This is bullshit. Uncle Mark promised me the company." Hargrove raised a hand. "There's more." Mark left a letter. He slid an envelope to Kai, who opened it with trembling fingers. "Dear Kai," it read, "if you're reading this, I'm gone. But our love isn't. I know the world tried to tear us apart. The family, society, even your own fears. But you showed me what true partnership means. Use this to live freely without apology. To my family, learn from my mistakes. Bigotry cost you my final years.
Ters bluret kai svision.
Elena snatched the letter. This proves it. He was brainwashed. The room descended into shouts. Richard threatened lawsuits, claiming undue influence. Kai stood, voice steady for the first time. Mark chose me. Accept it. But inside, turmoil raged. Had he unknowingly influenced Mark? Their relationship hadn't been perfect. Arguments over Kai's career, Mark's workaholic tendencies. Once, in a heated moment, Kai had yelled, "Sometimes I wonder if I'd be better off without all this drama." Mark's hurt expression haunted him. As security escorted the family out, Tom arrived, having been delayed. "I knew Mark would do right by you," he said, clapping Kai's shoulder. But Kai felt no victory, only emptiness. The inheritance was a double-edged sword, amplifying the gold digger narrative. News outlets picked up the story by afternoon. Widower inherits fortune amid family feud. Comments sections exploded with hate. Typical gay greed. He probably killed him for it. Kai retreated to the penthouse, locking himself in. He thought back to the societal pressures that shaped their bond. In America, where gay rights had advanced but prejudices lingered, especially in corporate circles, Mark faced boardroom whispers, clients pulling out over his lifestyle. "It's not about us," Mark would say. "It's their fear." But it wore on them. Kai sacrificed his social circle. Old friends called him kept man, jealous of the luxury but ignorant of the isolation. That evening, a knock startled him. It was Kyle alone. "We need to talk," he said, slipping inside.
Kai tensed.
"Uncle Mark. He told me things before he died." Kyle's eyes were red. "He said you were the best thing that happened to him. But the family, they're planning to contest the will. Elena's hiring investigators to dig up dirt on you." Kai's heart sank. Dirt? His past was clean, but scrutiny could twist anything. "Why tell me?" Kai asked. Kyle shrugged. "Because I'm gay too. Uncle Mark knew, encouraged me to come out. But Elena, she'd disown me." The revelation hit like a punch. Kyle had been hiding just like Mark once did. "Help me fight them," Kai urged. Kyle hesitated. "I can't. Not yet. But watch your back." Alone again, Kai paced. The betrayal stung. Family turning on family over money and prejudice. He recalled Mark's coming-out story, shared in vulnerable moments. Mark had suppressed his identity for decades, marrying a woman to please his parents, only to divorce in his 40s. "I wasted years," Mark lamented. "Don't let them make you do the same." Kai had vowed not to, but now, with the world closing in, doubt resurfaced. The next days blurred into legal meetings. Hargrove warned of a protracted battle. "They'll claim mental incapacity, coercion." Kai nodded, but his mind wandered to ethical dilemmas. Should he fight for the money, honoring Mark's wishes, or walk away to prove his love was pure? Society expected him to grab it, fitting the stereotype. But giving it up might validate their accusations that he never deserved it. A call from his estranged mother added fuel. "I saw the news," she said coldly. "Disgraceful. Your father and I raised you better." Kai hung up, anger boiling. Her rejection years ago, calling his orientation a choice, had driven him to Mark's arms. Now it all circled back. Family pressures fracturing lives. As night fell, Kai stared at Mark's portrait. "What would you do?" he whispered. The silence was deafening, but a spark ignited. He wouldn't run. This was about more than money. It was about dignity, challenging the biases that poisoned their love. Weeks turned into months, and the legal war escalated. Elena's team filed suit, alleging Kai had isolated Mark, exploiting his vulnerability during illness. Court documents painted Kai as a schemer, citing his modest background against Mark's wealth. Predatory relationship, the filings read. Kai's lawyer, a sharp woman named Lisa, countered with evidence of their genuine bond. Letters, videos, witness statements from friends like Tom. In depositions, Elena unleashed her fury. "He turned Mark against us," she testified, tears theatrical. "Our family values clashed with his lifestyle." The judge, an older man with a neutral expression, noted it all. Kai sat through it, stomach churning. The process forced him to relive painful memories, like the time Mark's parents, before their passing, refused to attend the wedding. "We won't endorse sin," they wrote. Mark had cried that night, the weight of rejection crushing. Society's gaze intensified. Protests outside the courthouse. Conservative groups waving signs. "Protect traditional families." Media dubbed it the gold digger trial. Kai avoided the spotlight, but paparazzi hounded him. One night, returning home, he found his door vandalized. "Faggot thief," scrawled in red paint. Panic surged. Was this Elena's doing, or random hate? Tom became his anchor. Over coffee, Tom shared his own story. "I lost a partner to AIDS in the 90s. Society called us deviants. Mark helped me through it." Kai nodded, drawing strength. But inner conflicts raged. Guilt over past arguments. Once, Kai had considered leaving when the pressure peaked. "I can't handle this anymore," he'd said. Mark begged him to stay, promising change. Now, Kai wondered if staying had hastened Mark's stress-related decline. Kyle reached out secretly, meeting in a dingy bar. "Elena's obsessed," he whispered. "She's bribing old employees for dirt." Kai's eyes widened. "What dirt?" Kyle hesitated. "Rumors of your past flings. Nothing solid, but she'll spin it." Betrayal deepened, family weaponizing personal history. Kai recalled his pre-Mark days. Casual dates, nothing serious, but in a homophobic lens it could be twisted into promiscuity. The trial began in earnest. Lisa opened strong. "This is about love, not greed. Mark's will reflects his free choice." Witnesses testified. Doctors confirming Mark's sound mind. Friends recounting their happiness. Then Elena's side. A former assistant claimed Kai demanded lavish gifts. Lies but damaging. Kai took the stand, voice firm. "I loved Mark for his kindness, not his bank account. We faced hate together from family, society. This suit dishonors him." Cross-examination was brutal. Elena's lawyer grilled him. "You quit your job after meeting him." "Convenient." "No." Kai retorted. "I pursued my art with his support." But seeds of doubt planted in the jury. That night, alone, Kai broke down. The moral quandary consumed him. Was fighting worth the toll? Sacrificing peace for principle? A twist came mid-trial. Leaked emails from Elena, showing her pressuring Mark to disinherit Kai years ago. "He's a liability," she wrote. The judge admitted them, shifting momentum. Elena denied tampering, but suspicion grew. Kyle, watching from afar, texted Kai, "She's unraveling." As testimonies wrapped, Kai reflected on broader issues. In America, where same-sex marriage was law, but equality elusive, their story highlighted lingering discrimination. Wealth amplified it, class divides intersecting with orientation. Kai's own awakening deepened. He saw how internalized shame had once made him question his worth. Closing arguments loomed. Lisa urged the jury, "Don't let prejudice cloud judgment. Honor Mark's wishes." Elena's side appealed to tradition. Family first. Kai held his breath, the tension palpable. Whatever the outcome, lives were forever altered. The courtroom hushed as the jury filed in after 3 days of deliberation. Kai's hands sweated, gripping the railing.
Elena sat rigid, Richard whisperinga suranches.
The foreman stood. "We find in favor of the defendant, Kinder Thompson Harrington. The will stands." Cheers from supporters. Elena collapsed in sobs. Kai exhaled, relief flooding, but victory felt hollow. Outside, reporters mobbed him. "How does it feel to win?" one asked.
Kai paused.
"It's not about winning. It's about truth." But inside, the cost weighed heavy. Friendships strained, privacy shattered. Tom hugged him. Mark would be proud. Yet, as they left, Kyle approached covertly. "I came out to Elena last night," he whispered. "She kicked me out." Kai's heart ached. Come stay with me. The aftermath brought more confrontations. Elena called, voice broken. You destroyed our family. Kai replied calmly, no, hate did. She hung up, but seeds of change? Unlikely soon. Kai dove into managing the foundation, channeling funds to LGBTQ causes, shelters, advocacy. It honored Mark, but sparked backlash. Conservative donors boycotted Harrington Tech. Stocks dipped. Board members pressured Kai to sell. Your personal life is hurting the company, one said.
Moral de lemes persisted.
Should he keep the empire, fighting biases, or liquidate and start anew? Society expected him to fail, proving the gold digger trope. Kai chose to lead, hiring diverse executives, including Kyle as an intern. We'll rebuild, he told the team. Personal healing was slower. Therapy sessions unpacked traumas, family rejections, societal scorn. You internalized the hate, his counselor said. Kai nodded, recalling moments of doubt. Had he loved Mark enough? The answer emerged. Yes, flaws and all. A year later, at a gala for the foundation, Kai spoke publicly. Our story isn't unique. Many face similar battles. Love versus prejudice, choice versus expectation. Applause rang, but Elena appeared unexpectedly. Can we talk? She asked. In a quiet corner, tears flowed. I was wrong. Mark's letter. It hit hard. Kai listened as she confessed fears rooted in upbringing. Kyle's coming out broke me. Tentative reconciliation began, not forgiveness yet, but a start. Kai's awakening culminated in advocacy. He wrote a memoir, exposing the raw truths, the betrayals, sacrifices, the price of authenticity. Reviews praised its honesty, sparking debates on gay rights in wealth dynamics. But shadows lingered. Anonymous threats continued, forcing security. Was it disgruntled family allies? Kai pressed on, honoring Mark's legacy. 2 years post-trial, Kai stood at Mark's grave, the Chicago wind whispering through the trees. The empire thrived under his stewardship, diversified into ethical tech. Kyle, now openly gay and rising in the company, stood beside him. Uncle would love this, Kyle said.
He smiled faintly.
Elena had softened, attending family events awkwardly, bridges mending slowly. Reflecting on the journey, Kai saw the profound changes. From a young man seeking belonging, he became a beacon for others. The societal pressures that once crushed now fueled purpose. He funded scholarships for LGBTQ youth, combating the very prejudices that scarred his path. Yet questions haunted. Had the inheritance tainted perceptions forever? Friends returned, but motives questioned. Kai dated sparingly, wary of gold-digger accusations in reverse. At a pride event, he met someone, David, a teacher with no ties to wealth. Their connection felt organic, free from past shadows. I admire your fight, David said. Kai hesitated, then opened up. Trust rebuilt one step at a time. The story's ripples extended. Elena volunteered at a support group, confronting her biases. I lost my brother to my own blindness, she admitted. Kyle flourished, advocating within conservative circles. Kai's final act, donating a portion of the fortune anonymously to causes Mark cherished. It wasn't atonement, but balance, proving love over greed. In the end, was the pursuit of justice worth the personal devastation, or should love sometimes yield to peace for the greater good?